a childhood friendship turned sour, a serious headbanging injury, and a few surprise phone calls. Her band Evanescence has enjoyed worldwide success over the years, but lead singer Amy Lee's former bandmates have had a lot to say about her. The tangled relationship of Amy Lee and Ben Moody has led to loads of discussion, debate, and controversy over the years. Along with Lee, Moody was one of the original co-founders of Evanescence, which formed when the two of them were just teenagers writing music at their parents' houses. According to Moody, who left Evanescence in the middle of their European tour in 2003, much of his and Lee's conflict stemmed from their tumultuous adolescent years. In a 2010 Spin interview, Moody said, "We both contributed to the resentment of the deterioration of our friendship that quickly turned into a downward spiral of animosity, conflicting opinions, and a very volatile environment." More specifically, Moody and Lee's separation often gets chalked up to creative differences. Moody in 2005 told MTV, "I still like to be creative, but she is more educated musically, and she wanted to explore that. I wanted to do that, but keep in the confines of what I knew people expected from Evanescence." Lee echoes these statements in her Louder Sound interview, saying that she didn't want a rapper on Bring Me to Life because she didn't believe that it represented what Evanescence was as a band. Moody went on to apologize to Lee and say that he harbors no ill feelings towards her.
I've kind of learned that sometimes you have to just part ways and sometimes you can't stay friends.
After Ben Moody left Evanescence, guitarist Terry Balsamo stepped into the gap and stayed with the band all the way until 2015. Balsamo had been in the band Cold, who was touring with Evanescence in 2003 and was asked to sub in for Moody.
I stole Terry Balsamo from Cold, so that tour was a big one from us.
The timing was right for all parties, and Balsamo wound up being not only a permanent Evanescence band member, but an ideal songwriting partner for Lee. The two collaborated on Evanescence's second and third albums, 2006's The Open Door and 2011's Evanescence, respectively. All in all, Balsamo's never had anything to say but praise about Lee and their collaborative relationship. In describing their back-and-forth creative process, Balsamo told the Los Angeles Times, "Every little part we would write bit by bit and come up with something that we liked. Each part took a lot of concentration on the little things." Interestingly, in that same interview, Evanescence guitarist John LeCompt had said that Amy had gained more authority when Ben Moody left the band, which might have contributed to how well she and Balsamo got along. Balsamo told Ultimate Guitar that in 2005, he had a stroke from a blood clot that formed in his neck while headbanging on stage. He took some time to recuperate, then rejoined the band before his final 2015 departure on good terms and in good spirits, the same as when he worked with the band. On Evanescence's Facebook page, he said of his departure, "We stand unified knowing it's the right thing for all of us." Unlike Terry Balsamo, John LeCompt seemingly left Evanescence on very bad terms following the release of the band's second album, The Open Door. He'd been a guitarist in the band from 2003 to 2007 and left around the same time as drummer Rocky Gray. In 2007, LeCompt very scathingly wrote on his MySpace page that he was fired from the band via telephone, writing, "This call wasn't from a friend who appreciated me, but from an enemy who was prepared to hurt me and my family. Without any warning or negotiations for my future, I was fired for no good reason. We have not always seen eye to eye on everything, but who does?" On top of this, LeCompt called out Amy Lee in particular, stating, "I have now become just another of the people fallen by the wayside on the revolving door of her life." Around the same time, Lee posted on the official Evanescence band page about John and Rocky's departure, claiming that the pair were simply ready to move on. Unlike John LeCompt, drummer Rocky Gray claimed that he was being legally gagged and prevented from speaking about why he left the band. As Blabbermouth quotes Gray in 2007, he had received an email from Lee's management about his contract saying, "I'm not allowed to have any free speech in regard to Evanescence. The way they spin it, I'm not even allowed to say I quit the group, I guess." According to Lee, however, Gray didn't quit Evanescence. He was fired. Lee spoke about things plainly on an Evanescence fan club message board, claiming that it had been clear that both LeCompt and Gray had been unhappy in the band, writing, "They were very vocal about the fact that they didn't really care about Evanescence at all and just stayed around for the money." Gray has been silent since then regarding both his time with Evanescence and how he exited the band, and hasn't clarified anything further. Fast forward a bit, and we reach guitarist Jen Majura. who joined Evanescence following Terry Balsamo's amicable exit in 2015. When Majura joined the band, everyone seemed elated about the decision. On the Evanescence website, the band wrote, "After scouring the globe, I found Evanescence's missing piece in South Germany. She plays like a supervillain, sings like an angel, and laughs like a great friend." 7 years later, in 2022, Majura was out. In what seems like another case of firing via telephone, Majura told Blabbermouth that she was randomly cleaning her apartment one day and received a phone call letting her know that she was kicked out of the band. At the time, the band wrote a statement that seemed to hint that it was a mutual decision between the band and Majura to part ways. Several hours later, however, Majura jumped online, writing, "I feel the need to address that none of this was my decision. I have no hard feelings against anybody, and I wish Evanescence all the best." Majura didn't have anything bad to say about Lee or Evanescence on a whole, and only reiterated how shocked and hurt she was at being fired. Lee never offered any further information about why Majura was let go, but a leaked chat log of Majura's on X, formerly known as Twitter, shows that she was passing along confidential information to fans.